Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I am going to start off by discussing what a writing section is all about. But before I start discussing what the writing section is all about, I really want to talk about why I believe the best place to start preparing for IELTS is through the writing section. Because I believe that writing section 2 gives you the maximum opportunity to learn at your pace. If we talk about the listening section, when you attempt the listening section, the thing is that you listen to a pre-recorded audio and the question paper is already in front of you. And when you're listening and trying to write down the answers, there isn't much time to think about anything. You listen it, and if by chance you miss something, you're trying to put in your head and you're trying to, properly listen what the script is saying in your headphones, and if you miss it, you get confused, and in the moment it kind of misses 3 or 4 questions that happens with you all the time as a beginner. So it doesn't give you much time to react and think and plan on your own part. And similarly, if we come to the speaking section, that also gives you very little time to think and react while answering the questions. For instance, if the examiner is asking you a question that you're familiar with, you are comfortable to talk about it. But if they ask something that you're not familiar with, randomly, if they ask you, have you ever studied maps? And you're thinking, Google Maps or what? And they typically ask you, did you study maps at school? Kind of a random, a less discussed topic, and you're kind of guessing and second guessing what to say, what to think. You don't have much time to jot down, prepare, or plan if you're not good in English. So speaking can be overwhelming in the beginning if you're trying to learn English. In fact, being confident in speaking is one of the key skills of communication that people sometimes study for years to get better at it, to be highly professional in that. And as a beginner also, when you're starting out, it's always intimidating, it's always overwhelming. We all feel that fastening heartbeat and that kind of fear overwhelming you, that wells up in your in your chest, in your brain, clogs you. So I don't feel that speaking is straight away the best way to start learning about IELTS. And similarly, if we talk about reading, it's considered one of the most difficult sections because of the fact that the English is already pre-written there and it's already of level 9. You have vocabulary, you might be unfamiliar with the topics that you see, and the questions can be pretty difficult to figure it out. And there's so many skills that comes in, the ability to comprehend, the ability to analyze or translate even in your mother tongue, in your brain, to get things done easily and to understand what typically question is asking about. So there is so much that goes into it that makes it quite difficult. But when it comes to writing, there is so much that is in your control. The first thing is, when you're just starting out as a student of IELTS, you have all the time in the world to think about it. You're given a topic and you're given guidance on how to write it, which is what we are going to talk about today. But you have all the time. You can write with a pencil and you can form a sentence, and if you're not happy, you can rub it, you can think of it, you can try and work it out and figure it out, question yourself, make sentences this way or that way, form things on your own pace. So these are the kind of things that gives you time, a sense of personalization, and a sense of it gives you the time to go at your own pace and to take things one at a time and to be able to rewrite, erase and work it out. And you have all the time, and you're not directly talking to someone, and you're not trying to comprehend English that somebody else has written. So with your vocabulary, be it limited, be it of advanced level, you have all the control. And that, I believe, is something that anyone who's trying to learn a language gives you a lot more confidence and a way to really progress deep inside into learning a language. So that's why I believe that the writing, and especially the writing task 2, which is an essay, is the perfect place to start. All right, so I've figured out the first thing for you. Now let's talk about the overall format of the exam. So there are key things that I'm going to talk about. So the first thing that you need to know about the IELTS writing is that it has 2 tasks. Task 1 and task 2. Task 1, if we talk about the IELTS academic, it has a graph. It is a pictorial representation of a report of a certain thing that, kind of changes over time. It could be a line graph, it could be a bar graph, a pie chart. There is a lot of variety into it. But I still believe that task 1 is not the right place to start. Task 2 is the right place to start, because in task 1 you're kind of again limited, constricted, and it binds you that this is what particularly that you need to talk about and figure out what is written. But when it comes to writing task 2, it gives you the freedom to write and say things based on your own experience, based on your own thoughts. So coming back to the format, the writing task 1 is typically of 20 minutes, and the writing task 2, which is an essay, is of 40 minutes. In total, you get 60 minutes, but it is not binding. You can take more time to write an essay if it is so required, even if it takes 43 or 45 minutes and you're left with 15 minutes to attempt task 1. That's up to you. You may be a fast writer. You may obviously finish the exam within 50 minutes. So that's, kind of overall up to you how you want to attempt it. But the total time is 60 minutes, which is not going to exceed. Now, if we talk about particularly task 2, in those 40 minutes, whatever the topic is given, you have to write a minimum of 250 words. It cannot be lesser than that. If it goes lesser than that, there would be negative marking and you will not get the full score that your English skill might give you otherwise. A lot of students commonly hear or have this opinion that the minimum is 250 and the maximum is 280, which is not true. The minimum is 250, but there is no maximum limit of words. The only limit is time. As long as you write your answer well within 40 minutes, everything is fine. But yes, the fact that when you're writing something just in 40 minutes, it's obvious that you won't be able to write like 1,000 words. Neither would the topic would incite such a response in such a short time. So there is no maximum limit in terms of words. The limit is that of time. And the exam these days can be given in two different formats. One is the computer delivered or the CDIELTS, in which you obviously type everything on a computer and your answer is saved through the software of the exam. The other way of is the pen and paper, in which you get a paper and you have to write your answer on that. So these are some of the basic things that you need to know, that how the exam is put together. Now to the next important question that I raised in introduction: for whom is this video and what to expect? Well, for the first part of the question, the video is for everyone. You could be of any English level, not too low. Obviously I expect you already understand some English. That is the only reason you are trying to listen to what I have to say and you're able to figure it out. But if your score is around 5 to 5.5, still fine. And if you're already good in English, you're expecting that you're going to get 7 or 8 bands or even 9 bands, still perfectly fine. This video is going to help everyone. And what I'm going to cover in this video is going to be about the format. Basically, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to actually properly respond to a topic. What this video is not going to be about is that I'm not going to give you knowledge based on topics. Let's say, if somebody thinks that what are the essays that you get in the environment area? What are the essays that you get in the technology area? What are the essays that you get in education area? What is that particular vocabulary that you need? So those are not the things that I'm going to answer. Neither is this a grammar lecture. These are things that are part of the IELTS writing, but right now that is not what I'm going to respond to. So basically, by the end of the video, you would be able to understand how to respond properly to the IELTS Task 2 essay, the prompt that is given to you. By response, I basically mean how to start the essays, how to move through the body paragraphs, and how to get to the conclusions. So these are the things that I'm going to cover up in the next section. All right, so now that you have understood why it is the right place to start off with writing in IELTS section, let's straight away get into the format of writing, how to start, how to continue, and how to finish. So the first thing is introduction. The introduction has a very simple purpose. You have to simply demonstrate it to the examiner that you have understood the topic that you're going to discuss about. And the second thing that you have to include into the introduction is your opinion. If it has been asked, you have to give your opinion in one line. That's about introduction. Now let's talk about the body paragraphs. When it comes to writing the body paragraphs, it has 2 or 3 simple requirements. First of all, in your body paragraph, you should be able to support your viewpoint or be able to discuss the view that you have been asked to discuss in the essay. And the second thing that you have to do is you have to explain and elaborate your main view, which will depend on the fact that how much worldly knowledge you have. And finally, the third point in the body paragraph is an example. If you can support your viewpoint with an example from the real world, that's the last thing that you can do while writing your body paragraphs. So that's it. That's what body paragraphs do. Finally, when it comes to conclusion, the word itself is self-explanatory. Conclusion simply means to come to an end, to come to a close, to complete a topic, to finish something. So that is what you have to do in the conclusion. And the way to do is you must rewrite your main overall thought and opinion again. You can simply reiterate your opinion, not in a yes or no form, but by overall expressing that particular thought. And that's it. That's how the format of IELTS essay is majorly organized. You have to write the introduction, tell what the topic is all about, and give your opinion. Then come the body paragraphs. You have to state your views based on your opinion, based on the discussion required in the topic. Then you have to elaborate it. Both stating the view and elaborating your view depends on how much worldly knowledge you have on that particular topic. And then you can support it with a further example. In conclusion, you simply have to reiterate whatever you have said by expressing it through your main idea that you have on that topic, your main opinion that you have on that topic. And that's pretty much it. With that, you can simply write a wonderful essay if you understand this format and how you can work on it. To give you more insight into what I have said, I'm going to give you an example of introduction. To give you a bit more depth on what all this format means, I'm going to show you a statement on your screen. So the topic is environmental problems are caused by technological development. Some people say that the solution to these problems is for everyone to lead a simpler way of life, while others say that technology can solve these problems. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So this is a kind of a typical statement that you may get in IELTS essay. Now, I'm not going to explain how to write the whole essay, but I'm going to give you a little insight into how to write an introduction. In the next video, we will write the full essay. And not only we will write the full essay, but I will also discuss how the essay is marked. What are the parameters of marking and how you can keep all those things in mind to make sure that you can have a confident approach towards the essay. So coming back, how to write the introduction to this particular essay statement that I had just shown you on the screen. Well, if I remind you once again, the introduction simply has the job that you have to tell examiner clearly that you have understood the topic. And how you can demonstrate that you have understood the topic? Simply by carefully reading the statement and understanding the major topics of it and what the discussion is all about. Take a look at the screen once again. So here in the first statement, it's written environmental problems are caused by technological development. So you should be able to understand quite easily that the topic is on environmental problems. And these problems are related to technological developments. This is the first thing that you should be able to tell the examiner through your writing. So let's just do that. So you have to present this major statement in your own words. So you can simply start by writing, the advancements in technology in the past few decades has greatly improved our life, but it has also harmed the environment a lot. So that's the first opening statement. Through this, you have demonstrated that you understand that we are talking about the development in the technological sphere, and we are also talking about how it is impacting our environment. That's it. Now you have to continue the introduction by explaining what the other half of the statement is. So in the essay statement, it's written, some people say that the solution to these problems is for everyone to lead a simpler way of life. That's one thing. And the other thing is that while others say the technology can solve these problems, which simply means that we can use the current technology to develop a technology that is safe for the environment. So you have to talk about both these facts. And since it says discuss both views and give your opinion, you will also give the opinion. In this case, I'll give my opinion. So for the second half of the statement, you can simply write, a lot of people believe that to protect our environment, we must revert back to a simple lifestyle. But on the other hand, Many argue that the technology itself can be used properly so that the damage to the environment can be controlled. So you have demonstrated that these are the two aspects of the statement. And finally, in the third part, you have to give your opinion. And in this case, my opinion is going to be something like this. I believe that technology has permanently shifted the way we live our life. So going back is not possible. And the focus should be on how to use technology itself to solve the problems it created. So that's it. So in three parts, you have clearly demonstrated in this introduction what it is all about. In the first part, we have explained what the topic is. In the second part, we have explained what the argument is about related to that main topic. And in the third part, we have given our clear opinion, what personally I believe, or whatever the writer wants to say. So that's it. That's a simple demonstration of what an IELTS introduction can look like. But I believe the video is getting quite long, so I will put a pause on this here, and in the next video, we'll nicely discuss everything about this IELTS Writing Task 2. We'll talk about how to write a proper introduction. We'll continue the same topic and write a full body paragraph, and we'll also write a conclusion. And not just that, along with that, we will also discuss all the other factors that are involved, especially how the marking is done. And once you understand the marking, what are the parameters based on that which you are given score, we will also talk about how we properly plan everything once we get a statement right in front of us. So once an essay statement is right in front of us, how do we read it? How do we plan it? How do we begin writing? How we revise it? How we look at the time? How each and everything is done. A full demonstration would be given in the next video. Stay tuned and check out the next video. Thank you.